Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be going into the best of one queues with a bit of a unique, I guess, take on an existing archetype. We're going to be playing some Squee Reanimator in a meme fashion, because everybody knows this channel is not about playing the best decks, it's about playing the weirdest decks, and playing them to a subpar level. So let's go! So Reanimator, for those who don't know, is basically just a deck where you put some big boys like Drakoseth, Zetalpa, and Vilis into your graveyard and then find ways of bringing them back. We're actually going to be doing a typical one, which is Blood for Bones. 4 mana for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then return a creature from your graveyard to your hand. So we get double value on this one. But we're also going to be using Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, which is a 5-mana legendary sorcery. You get to put up to 1 target creature or planeswalker from a graveyard onto the battlefield. So we can reanimate a planeswalker or a creature from either graveyard. And then we get to destroy a creature or planeswalker, but then Yawgmoth's Vile Offering does get exiled. But hopefully the power swing is going to be very much in our favour. We've also got a copy of Primeval's Glorious Rebirth, because it's rotating, and I want to get some fun out of it. That's the idea of this deck anyway. And a legendary sorcery deck with red in it would not be complete without my Immortal Son. Squee the Immortal, 2-1 for 3 mana. You may cast Squee the Immortal from your graveyard, or from exile, or from outside of the format. So, essentially, what Squee does is he acts as our legendary sorcery enabler, but he's also a Blood for Bones target, because we can sacrifice Squee the Immortal and just recast him out of the graveyard. It's very hard for our opponent to kill our creatures to disable Blood for Bones, for example, or our Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, because even if they Vraska's Contempt him, which we're running in our deck, then we can just cast him from exile, so pretty good. Other than that, though, to enable the graveyard, we've got a little bit of self-mill in the Stitcher Supplier, bit of discard if we end up drawing our big boys with the Rixmardy Reveler. It's also a decent target on the Squee. As we said, we can cast this from the graveyard, so it's basically just a free draw. Spectacle on this one means that if we deal damage, we actually get to discard our entire hand and draw 3 cards, which is pretty decent when you're pretty close to being empty-handed. And Honor the God Pharaoh instead of Tormenting Voice, and the reason for that is that it actually amasses a 1, which makes a 1/1 token for us to then Blood for Bones. We've still got a copy of Bond of Revival in here for the Hasty Drakoseth, because it is pretty powerful all the same, but I just wanted to try one last hurrah with some of the Dominaria cards, see what we can do with them before they rotate. I feel like that's probably the best thing to do before rotation. Let's not do rotation-proof decks, because obviously when the format stabilizes, everything will change, and any rotation-proof deck that I showcase to you may or may not just actually be dead in the water upon arrival, so you just don't know. Like, we've not even had, I think there's 60 more cards or something like that to be spoiled for Throne of Eldraine, so who knows if Reanimator is even viable. We know that we've got some cards that have actually been spoiled in that set, so Reanimator should be something that people are trying to attempt. Whether or not they end up doing that, though, is to be determined. But other than that, though, we've got removal in Vraska's Contempt, Mortifies, and Cast Down to survive until we get to our Drakoseths and Zetalpa. Zetalpa going to be one of the things that I want to reanimate. It's not very good against exile-based effects and bounce effects, so I don't expect it to be amazing, but I like the idea of hasting this one through for 8 damage and having it have vigilance and basically just stonewall everything unless they've got the bounce or the exile we're talking about. So 3 fairy is obviously a problem card, and then also like Vraska's Contempts and D-Spark effects, things like that are going to be a problem for Zetalpa. But for the most part, they're going to be a problem for most of the stuff that I reanimate, so I'm just going to assume that that's a bad matchup and move on with my life. That's the idea, at least. So without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you in there. Alright, we're in, and we've got an Honor the God Pharaoh to discard Zetalpa, and then a Blood for Bones to bring it back. So as long as we're not up against aggro, we've got a pretty decent turn 3, turn 4 play. So I'm going to keep this one. It's also got reasonable mana as well. We can Temple to hopefully set up a good draw, and obviously red is what's on the other side when I say hopefully it's not too fast. Mono red, the lightning speed deck. Let's put the land to the bottom since we've just drawn a Godless Shrine. Not really going to need that. And yeah, I think, I don't know, if we can get to turn 4, we might be okay. It's going to be Cavalcade of Calamity, so maybe if we find a Mortify, that's going to be pretty decent. Let's go with the Sacred Foundry tapped. And a slow start for our opponent does bode well. There's a Legion War Boss. Well, they've just gone from 0 to 60 in 3 turns, so we'll see. Cast down for us, sorry. Does kind of make me want to take the turn off to kill Legion War Boss, because it's going to be a lot of damage, but I do get Zatalpa down the turn after next. Is it too slow, though? I'm also going to have to shock myself to make that play on turn 4, most likely. Yeah, I think we take the turn to kill War Boss, and just go for the tap land here. I'm just going to do it on my turn, because knowing me, I'll probably forget and there'll be a combat trigger. There's Chandra's Spitfire, okay. Well, we do have a Vraska's Contempt for that, so I could wait a little longer again. It's also life gain, so we're not really losing too much from that play, but there is definitely a situation where we could definitely lose a lot of life if we're not careful. Yeah, I guess that's what we're going to have to do. There's no guarantee that this 1-1 is even going to live, knowing that they've got this 1-1 here, and they'll probably want to push it through. I'm just going to get rid of the Spitfire now. Try and wait for a little bit of a better setup, but we are going to lose 2 life from this Goblin token anyway. So there is that. Scorch Spitter, okay. And, well, this is our window. I'd prefer to see like a Squee or something like that, but it is what it is. Right, the best thing that we could actually play is Drakaseth. I do really want to play Zatalpa, but Drakaseth is definitely the better call for the bin here. So let's get that discarded. Amass 1 and draw a Squee. Alright. Cool. And we've got a Mortify as well if we want to take care of the Cavalcade. No doubt they've got a Shock here on end step though, to push through their damage. Yeah. Okay. But let's see how they deal with a Squee. I want an untapped land that doesn't hurt me, because then I can Squee and Mortify the Cavalcade. Should be very nice. Definitely deal with a lot of removal my opponent has. Another Squee. Alright, well, let's play Squee. See how my Immortal Sun fares against perfect answers in my opponent's hand. Yeah, there's a shock. We're on the edge. 5 mana. Opponent is flooding out. But I don't know if that's really going to be too much of a problem for them. Since we're dead to double Lightning Strike at this point. I don't even know if they do run Lightning Strike. I think they run a couple of copies. But who knows. It's a Heartfire. Yeah, okay, well, they've got me. Dead to that Scorched Spitter if I don't kill it. If I kill that Scorched Spitter, I'm just dead anyway. Alright, yeah. No draw. No draw for our opponent. We couldn't really get there, to be honest. A bit too slow for our hand, but we knew that going into it. Okay, we're in, and we do have a discard outlet, but our reanimation is not up to par, so I'm going to mulligan this one. And, okay, we've got a Stitcher Supplier, which we can use at some point. I think I'll keep this one, and we'll put... You know, I kind of want to play around with Zatalpa, even though Drakaseth is probably better. I'm playing this deck to play Zatalpa, so I'm going to take the subpar option here as my reanimation target, and they've got a Leyline of Abundance. Interesting. So let's just not take anything that we can't cast and Temple of Silence it away. Next turn we can Temple of Silence and still Stitcher Supplier, not in that order, of course. So let's mill the top 3 cards of our library. We've got a Squee and a Blood for Bones in the bin. Okay. And, well, let's set up... I guess this is where we set up our Temple of Silence. We want to find something... Well, we've got the Zatalpa to discard, so I guess we do want that reanimation target on the Blood for Bones. Yeah, so we shock ourselves to play Honor the God Pharaoh, put Talpa in the bin, and then the next turn we shock ourselves and we Blood for Bones back, which is pretty cool. So, Sacred Foundry untapped, Honor the God Pharaoh on Talpa, and we got some good discard options, that's pretty cool. And we'll swing in, they'll never in a million years block this, but if they did, then we get to actually do some extra self-milling for whatever that's worth. They've got a Nissa on turn 3. Okay. Well, with a Vigilance 4/8, I don't think I really care about any lands that have Vigilance either. I might as well just chomp. I don't see the issue. Blood for Bones brings Stitch's Supply back anyway, and I don't think they can realistically Rabid Bite me, right? Another Talpa. Alright, so let's shock ourselves, and we'll go Blood for Bones. If they block the Stitcher's Supply, we can't make this play, so I'm not going to get in for the 1 damage. As much as it would be nice. Ooh, we got a Villis in the yard? Okay, well, we're here to Zetalpa, so let's get some Zetalpa action in, I guess. Go, go, go. And let's put... could go with the Stitcher's Supplies, I suppose. We've already got one of everything. Let's just... yeah, I guess the Stitcher's Supply is really the best thing, because it just fills up the graveyard. And now we're swinging for 8 a turn with that Zetalpa, which is dream come true. Age of Treachery. I hate this game. I hate it so much. Oh my god. It's not my day. It's not my day today. Oh, God. Yep. Okay. Well, let's Freak Smarty Reveler, I guess. Discard this Zetalpa. Got Honor the God Pharaoh. Let's just mill ourselves repeatedly. There goes all of our reanimation. Oh god, there's more reanimation. Alright. Okay. Woosa. Woosa. Yeah, I've not been having a good time with Magic recently. It's been mostly what you're seeing right here, so if you're wondering why my uploads have been a little bit all over the place as of late, it's mostly because this keeps happening, and it's honestly, it's tilting me to the point where I don't want to play. And you know, it is what it is, it's variance, but I can't help the way I feel about it. It's just non-stop action for my opponents. And I don't know. What can you really do about this when this is every single game you play? I can't record good content that's not just this, you know? Bit of a feel-bad moment, but, you know, figured I had to put something out today, and apparently my luck has not changed. So they get to draw 3 cards, because why struggle? And yep, we draw a cast down, and we're dead. Moving on to the next game, which is hopefully gonna be good. Alright, we're in, and this hand looks pretty decent. We don't have a white mana, but we're not really struggling for it either. We got Rix Mardy to discard Squee, so we're not really discarding anything with that, so it's pure draw a card. It's kind of like the 2 mana vampire dude. Ooh, Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, very nice. Alright, so let's discard Squee and draw a card. Draw a Rix Mardy Reveler. I always call this one a Mix Radi, which is kind of like a DJ name. Yo, it's Mix Radi over here, giving you the sickest beats from across the town. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah, Mix Radi. He's all about that action. He's just like juggling mixtapes instead. It's pretty sweet. Mad props to that dude. Alright, so let's get in with our Mix Radi Reveler. See what happens. Do we just get cast down or Vicious Offering? Okay. And well, from there, we could set up a Yawgmoth's Vile Offering in a short space of time, I suppose. Playing our Squee sets that up soon, but I don't know. I think I'd rather just go with our Mixradi Reveler and just dump the Mortify for now. More Squeeze. Perfect timing, as always, my son. Noxious Grudion. Alright. So our opponent is playing a deck that is subpar, which means that we have a chance of winning. Not a good chance, but a chance of winning. Damn it, I'm going to take it. Alright, let's swing in, because honestly, ain't nobody afraid of a Grudion. What even is this thing? It's a beast. Alright, okay. It looks a bit ill, but, you know, I don't judge. Whatever he's been up to. Just, rough night on the town. He's kind of hungover. He's walking through town and throwing up as he's walking. We've all been there, bro. We've all been there. Alright, so we could have killed this thing and then it amasses. And then I've got some reanimation targets. I'm not really feeling any of that, so I think I might just, like, content this thing. I don't really know what my opponent could do that should really make me be afraid that this Yawgmoth's Vile Offering's not going to be good enough. We'll see. Another Grudion, okay. And, well, now we have a Vile Offering, kill a Grudion, get back a Reveler or something like that. I don't know. None of this feels particularly amazing, but, you know. Let's get in with our Squee. Did you guys know that Squee, whenever he dies, he gains Vigilance until the end of the turn for 3 mana? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And if you have 2 Squees in hand, then he just gains Vigilance whether your opponent likes it or not. Yo, power play. This is just pure flexing at this point. How could you beat my Immortal Sun? I ask you that. Just play any deck, apparently. It's not my day. Alright, 6 mana for our opponent. Please set up a good Vile Offering. They do not. And we keep drawing bad cards. Okay. Get in for 2. Eventually you will have to block my son. But until then, we'll keep giving him Vigilance. Hell yeah. For the record, there is obviously a reason to keep my Immortal Sun in my hand. Not only is it additional information, but it's also a discard outlet. But to be perfectly honest, with no good reanimation targets in my hand, I'm not really seeing the use for all of this reanimation to begin with. So, you know, we're going to keep on swinging in. I'm not going to spectacle this Reveler, because I do still want... That's rude. I do still want, actually, these cards in my hand, even though I'll be discarding one of them right here to the Reveler, in hopes that I eventually find something good. So, do we find something good? No, we do not. Alright. Play Squee the Immortal, and pass the turn. You thought you could murder my son? Think again. Vicious Offering. Alright. Well, we could set up a Blood for Bones now. We can reanimate the Mixradi Reveler. Ooh, we even got a Clifftop Retreat. It's pretty good. Now we got the white mana online. Yeah, let's get in for 2. Cannot handle the pure 2-1 turbo power of Squee the Immortal here. They're just really struggling. Wow, Obnixilus's cruelty, exiling my Immortal Son. He's almost in every single zone that he could possibly be in. He's in my graveyard, he's in exile, he's in my heart, and he's in my deck. All he has to do now is get into my hand, and we're in a good spot. Alright, so let's just bring him right on back out of exile, shall we? And you know what? I'm using this Blood for Bones. Sack Squee the Immortal. We're going to reanimate the Mixradi Reveler. And we're going to put a Rixmardy Reveler into our hand. I might just discard the Mortify, honestly, because I need this one to discard any future bombs, which we're never going to draw. Never in a million years are we going to draw what we need. Eviscerate. Opponent's running all the different kinds of black removal. We got the Vicious Offerings, the Murders, the Cruelties. Wow. Alright. Reveler. Discard. Sacred Foundry, I guess. And there's a cast down. Alright. So let's play Squee the God Killer. And yeah, I'm glad that my opponent's playing a subpar deck because clearly, like, the draws are just not right for this one today. Please come at me. Come at me, bro. Alright, we found Drakaseth, but we're at the point now where we're hard casting him, so, you know. It's a thing. As long as they don't use Exile, as long as they keep it to the removal that they've been using pretty consistently, we shouldn't have to worry at all. We can just Vile Offering back Drakaseth as many times as we want through their removal, so this should be enough. Can't see us losing from this point forward. What's next? What you got? Land and... Ooh, they got more removal. Eviscerate. Alright. So we get to use Vile Offering, and it's going to be amazing. So, Vile Offering. We're going to bring back Drakaseth, and we're going to kill their Grudion. Pretty good value. Alright. Swinging with Squee, my son. Make him have Vigilance, because I can. And then we'll keep the land in hand for discard, I guess. Just in case we get a Honor the Godfair or something like that. We don't, though. We get more lands. And more lands. Good game. Wow. It took a truly beginner-level deck for this deck to actually do something decent through the horrendous mana flood and horrible draws that we achieved there. My goodness. I don't know if this deck's bad. It probably is. But I don't really think that my draws are indicative of the quality of this deck for sure. I think I'm just definitely not good enough to draw good cards today. And that's just kind of it. Let's go for another game though. See if we can do some awesome action. I don't know. We'll see. Alrighty then, we are in, and we've got things to discard but no way to discard them. If we find any of them though, we've got a pretty decent turn 5 Drakaseth with haste. I kind of like this hand. It's got plenty of ways that it could screw me, but plenty of ways that I can make it work out though. I'm going to keep it. We'll see. I'm tired of digging for good hands because I won't find them, so let's go with this reasonable hand. And we got Squee the Immortal. Okay. That gives us something to cast at least. Turn to Thought Erasure from our net decking opponent, probably. Yeah, it's Esper. Oh, they went Surtress Canter. My goodness. Alright. Maybe they're an old school kind of deck. Let's get rid of one of these Drakaseths, shall we? And hopefully we draw like land and then Blood for Bones. That would have been nice. We didn't. But we got a land, so we got half of what we asked for. That's all you can really ask for at the end of the day, is half of what you want. Alright, Godless Shrine for our opponent. And there's Thought Erasure. Okay. They can't really take anything I care too much about, like Bond of Revival. It's definitely the option here, but honestly, I didn't expect to be able to cast that and have it resolve anyway, so let's just go with Squee the Immortal plan and hopefully we can get there. Rix Mardi Reveler is our way of discarding the Drakaseth, which is pretty decent. We'll go with that now, I guess. Gets rid of a known card in our hand that we want in our discard anyway. And we get more Drakaseths. Okay. And Stitcher's Supplier, probably going to mill over a lot of my good cards. And there they go. Alright. Assume the worst. Always assume the worst. It makes for good content when it actually happens. Oath of Kaya. Alrighty then. And we're in an interesting position for sure. We get to keep slapping our opponent. We're going to play the Squee out of the graveyard, since we'll leave this one for discard purposes. Our opponent's at 2 cards in the yard, so very far away from flipping Search for his counter. But I'm going to keep Squee the Immortaling them, and there's not really too much they can do about that. Card draw, eh? Interesting. There's a Kaya's Wrath. It's not going to be too effective against our Immortal Sun. Oh, that's so close to being great. Well, lucky for us, there's a good chance that we were just going to get wiped anyway, so we want to be waiting on this until after the Kaya's Wrath goes off. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kill the Oath of Kaya, and then kill the Narset and swing. Could kill the Searcher's Canter. I don't think they're going to be there anytime soon. Alright. Get Narset out of the way, just in case we find Mixradi Reveler or Honor the God Pharaoh. We want to be able to actually use the cards without being punished thoroughly. They are basically just discard a card when Narset's around, so she needs to die. There's Kaya's Wrath. Alright. Fill up my graveyard with good stuff, please. Yeah. Honestly, I would have been happy to draw those. And we got a tap land, so let's play our tap land and then play Squee out of the graveyard. We definitely don't want that. Gonna go with Squee the Immortal from the graveyard and pass the turn, see what they've got. They're up to 5 cards now. They're getting there. I'm trying my damnedest to make it so that we win before that actually flips. That was my plan, at least. Looks like it might not be happening, but we'll see. There's a Stitcher's Supplier. Okay, so let's go with Squee the Immortal and Stitcher's Supplier. Fill up that yard again with garbage. Okay. Full of trash now. Let's keep going. All the good stuff is still in our deck. We do get to Vile Offering, kill Teferi, and then get back a Drakaseth, though, for whatever that's worth. I mean, pretty soon we're going to be hard casting Drakaseths anyway, so it is what it is. Alright, let's see if we can actually... Ooh, there's a Teferi in there? I didn't even notice the Teferi in there. Yeah, let's just get Teferi and then kill their Time Raveler. That works for me. See if they got counter magic. Not many people run it these days, but opponent could be on an old school build, perhaps. That's maybe running some vetoes or something of that nature. They certainly look a little bit confused. But we're going to be trading Teferi for Big Teferi.
Right on schedule.
And now we get to draw some cards. It's pretty cool. What's their thing at right now? 6. Alright, I think I'm going to actually tuck the Searcher's Canter, since it might actually flip next turn. I don't really want that to happen. And he's dead anyway. Okay.
Now what? Not so fast.
I think I made a decent call on that one. Get him for 3. As Canter would have been flipping if I hadn't of minused on it. And I don't think our tick-up was really going to do too much there. Oath of Kaya. Going at the Stitcher's Supplier to fill our graveyard. There's a Blood for Bones in there. No! And it's a very Time Raveler. Stop!
Stand by.
Stop!
No, I am not making this up as I go.
Okay. We drew a land. So that puts us on Drakaseth. Officially hard casting our big bombs. At least we are at that point. It's better than not being at that point, right? Never mind. Oh boy. Alright, can we get a Blood for Bones? No. Alright. Well, tap land go. Opponent now officially flipping their Searcher's Canter, so they get perfect answers from this point until the end of time. And there's a Narset. A little late for the Narset, but I'm sure the minuses are going to be backbreaking. Yeah, there's a Vraska's Contempt. It's not too bad, though. We can cast anything and Squee at the same time, but they can just save it until we put down a big threat, which is obviously not ideal. Yeah, so we're kind of like... We're setting something up to die here, which is not great. But what we can do is we can swing for 2 at our opponent. Don't care about your stuff over there. I do kind of care about Teferi Time Raveler, but I'm trying not to. Trying not to care, guys. We can sacrifice Squee to get back a Drakaseth out of the yard, which our opponent is going to turbo slam that Contempt into, but that's fine. because we're going to pull a Drakaseth out of the graveyard and put it into our hand as well for hard casting later. Sorry, that's me, guys. Don't know what that noise is all about, but someone's live streaming. Wow. Alright, we're still in the territory of keeping Teferi off of bouncing our Drakaseth. Opponent finds the answer to Drakaseth. Because if they don't find it here, they'll find it with as Cancer. Unmod Ego, naming Drakaseth. That'll do it. Maybe we can just, like, get a Zetalpa or a Villis out of our deck, because we've still got plenty of them. Yep, there he is. Alright, so we get a redraw, since they're taking one out of our hand. But that is annoying. We drew a land. Cool. Should have expected as much. And yeah, we've just got one Zetalpa in there.
Might be a bad idea.
Bounces my Squee and kills their Teferi. And plays another Teferi.
No time for a break.
Alright then. And there's the Talpa, who can be tucked at any given time. Alright, well. Plays the Talpa. Tuck me to Fairy Daddy. Or just have more answers, as Cantor finds the answer, I guess. So they don't have to. Probably digging for... Oh, Legion's End's not going to do anything. It's actually pretty much a dead card at this point.
Hurry!
Land drop. As Cantor goes digging, so those two unknown answers are not something that Zetalpa has to worry about. But double search is obviously something we have to worry about. Thought Rager, have fun. Takes cast down. And Thought Erasure, have fun. Wow, big impact. They did get to Surveil, which is great. Great for us. That's what we love. Alright, that's pretty good. So we get to Contempt of Fairy. Stop that from being an issue. So if they drew an Elder Spell, they're pretty much off of ulting at this point. And we're going for face. I need to race my opponent because it's only a matter of time until they find exactly what they need. And we're threatening lethal here, so they need to have the answer. And then they need to beat a Squee that keeps recurring over and over again. Which there is no answer in their deck, short of maybe Ixalan's Binding. It's about the only thing that they could use. Command the Dreadhorde. Tasty. Do we actually have... Yeah, we still have a Zetalpa. Did they just kill themselves? What on earth? Didn't you have something good in your graveyard? I thought they had, like... What? They had a 3 fairy in their yard, right? Just bounce my Zetalpa. Alright, so we won, and we shouldn't have. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Guilds of Ravnica. Let's have a look, see. I believe, yeah, it's all gems. Good stuff. Alright, I think we can go for one more game. Let's see if we can do one more game where we're not winning because our opponent doesn't answer with Dreadhorde correctly. I don't know what happened. I'm confused. Much confuse. Alright, next game. Okay, we're in, and we've got a Mixradi Reveler to discard the Zetalpa, hopefully into a Blood for Bones, sorry, and then we've also got a Cast Down. I like this hand. It needs lands, but we're going to be drawing some extra cards on the Reveler anyway, so I should hopefully get what we need, get what I need here. I just need to get to 4 mana, and that's going to be a nice spot to be in. And Terramander. Okay, so probably Drakes, if I had to guess. I'm not sure how they beat us short of counter magic. I guess I'm going to go with the Drakaseth because it just kills everything in their deck. And we got our 3rd land for the turn, which is very nice. So We're in a nice little setup here. Opponent can get in for 1, we get in for 2. It's not going to win the race on that one. Gearsmith Prodigy, alright. Opponent with the beginner deck. That bodes well. Alright, so we're going to play our lands. We're going to swing in, see if they double block. If they do, we'll just cast down one of the Prodigies. I'm not really blown away by doing that, but, you know, it is what it is. They've kind of put us in that situation. Alright. So, no artifacts to pump up the Prodigies. Probably just gonna, like, kill a Prodigy, honestly. We'll wait. I'll take an extra damage to potentially get some value out of a better creature here. Nope, never mind. There's just more Prodigies. Okay. And a Cerulean Drake with protection from red. That cannot be allowed to stand, so... Very nice on the weight there. And we win now, because now we go Dragon Skull Summit. Swing in for 2. Since our opponent can't kill our Reveler. And whatever we reanimate has Summoning Sickness anyway, so... Kill the Reveler. Reanimate the Dracoseth. And return the Reveler back to our hands. And now we can just start machine gunning down all of our opponent's stuff. 4 damage to any target, and then 3 damage onto other targets. They do have the Frostlinks to tap down my Dracoseth, so a temporary fix. Hopefully we get a land, that'd be pretty nice. A tap land, okay. It's better than no land at all, I suppose, but... Yeah, let's go dump Zetalpa in the bin. Play our Temple of Silence. Maybe the sequencing on that one was less than ideal, but I don't actually see us losing in a million years here. So, I mean, short of them maybe bouncing my Dracoseth, they could maybe actually tempo us out of the game that way. We'll have to see. Enough Frostlinks to tap down my Dracoseth would definitely do something there. I'm just going to kill the Frostlinks. Because I'm in a bit of a scary life total situation here, which can easily be upset by a tapping effect or a bounce effect. But we do have a Vraska's Contempt, and we even have the Yawgmoth's Vial offering, actually, to kill a Terramander and get back a Zetalpa, which is why I did not put the Dracoseth in my bin. So, Yawgmoth's Vial offering, we're going to get back Zetalpa. We're going to kill Terramander, I guess. I don't think it matters too much, because we're just going to absolutely turbo murder our opponent. So let's just get rid of all the threats. All the threats are gone. There we go. Even if they've got a Cerulean Drake, we still have a Zetalpa, so they don't have protection from that. And they are facing down lethal now. So they need something pretty good. They need like 3 flying blockers or a board wipe. Well, even a board wipe these days won't do it, because we actually have Indestructible on our Zetalpa. So, you know, yet again, our opponent plays the beginner deck, and we win. We win in spectacular fashion as long as our opponent isn't playing a good deck. See what they can do with their last 2 mana and 3 cards. My guess is absolutely nothing. We can put them to 1 if they can bounce a Dracoseth, I guess. Since we can Contempt the Seer and get in for 8 on our Zetalpa. But it's just more blood for bones, which is pretty decent, I suppose. Doesn't particularly matter, because we do get to kill the Cloudkin Seer on the attack, so they don't get to block with it. It does look like they might actually have some bounce. Oh, well, 4 damage, 3 damage, and it's up to 2, so we don't really have to deal any more damage anywhere else. So 4 damage, 3 damage. Can't target the same thing twice, so we can't put the other 3 damage at our opponent's face. As I said though, doesn't really matter, and it looks like we've cleared things up for our opponent. They did have Blink of an Eye. Alright, well, you're dead. I mean, from their point of view, couldn't they have averted lethal by just bouncing that Dracoseth pre-combat? I would have then needed to have this Vraska's Contempt, which obviously I had, but they didn't know that. Yeah. Well. Well, we didn't exactly see the greatest of matchups, and we didn't exactly draw the best of cards. We only won 3 times, which is sad and depressing. But this deck was fun when it was doing what it was supposed to do. It's just it was misbehaving in my hands. Maybe you guys can pilot it a little bit better if you've got the cards. Obviously, though, I would suggest if you are to go for a Reanimator deck, probably don't build this one. There is a pretty decent one built around, well, getting Drakoseth down and using Bond of Revival as a 4 of instead of Yawgmoth's Vile Offering. But as I said, I want to try out some old cards that are going to be rotating, which are a little bit more fun as opposed to being more competitive, because that's what this channel's about. It's all about having fun. If we're not having fun, then it's just not worth playing, right? So, you know, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully my misfortune and salt that came with it wasn't tilting enough for you guys. It's all in good fun. Like, if I do get salty on the videos, you know, I'm not terribly mad about it. So hopefully you guys don't like actually assume that I'm having the worst time, because I'm really not. I like to, you know, when I'm tilting with for you guys on a recording, honestly, I'm having a little bit of fun with it. It might not appear that way, but it's just kind of the British humour. We're all about self-deprecation and hateful words. So, you know, just watch any British comedy and they'll just destroy themselves, and it'll look depressing for anyone who's not English or enjoys that kind of comedy, I guess. I don't know if I'm being comedic at all, but yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it, though. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. Hit that bell icon so you get notifications when I go live in the future. I'm also going to be sponsored by Wizards of the Coast in the coming weeks, so make sure to look out to the channel for an announcement video on that. I will be in the early access streamer event, so I have some plans for that. Make sure if you do want to submit decks for that event as well, there is a Discord available in the link in the description down below, so go follow that, join the Discord if you want me to play something during the streamer event, because there's a pretty good chance that whatever you submit will actually make it onto the channel the week following the event as well. So anyway guys, thanks very much for watching, hope you've all enjoyed, I'll see you all next time, bye bye.